Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of MyGM Mode here on WWE 2k23. Today we're going to complete the build to our first PLE here in season number 2, being Survivor Series, and we're coming off a couple weeks where we allowed SmackDown to reclose the gap against us, so we have some work to do in order to get our first PLE off to a good as possible. So we're going to try to complete that here in this episode. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyGM content. We've gone ahead and booked the next show in the series, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. We're going to have 2 title matches on tonight's show, try to really get us a bump in the right direction. We're going to see a triple threat Extreme Rules match to begin. Drew McIntyre, Robert Roode, and Braun Breaker to crown the first United States champion here in season number 2. Undertaker's going to give us an advertising promo just because we needed somebody in the 3rd slot, and he was really the only one available. Mid-card, we're going to see Rhea Ripley take on Kaden Carter. Roxanne Perez will run on this one, hopefully to advance her feud with Ripley. We're going to turn Zoe Stark heel. We kind of have an abundance of face women, so we're going to put Zoe Stark in the heel position. She's a specialist. She can kind of work both ways, plus she's a heel in real life, so I think it's more of a good fit for her. Charlotte Flair will take on Bianca Belair with Asuka running in on this one because Flair and Asuka is our Raw Women's Championship rivalry. Roman Reigns will call out The Undertaker after last week. We got the rivalry kicked off. Well, Reigns will return the favor in this promo. And then our main event, we're going to crown the first Raw Tag Team Champions of the series and hopefully get this rivalry started. Strowman and Gunther from last season will take on Rated RKO. I think it's a pretty solid show. I think it has what it takes. So let's see if we can get the win over SmackDown this week. Start off with the Triple Threat Extreme Rules match. I have high hopes for this one. The first U.S. champ of season number 2 is going to be Robert Roode, who's on quite a roll here to begin the season. 4-star match, and his rivalry with McIntyre grows to level 3, so it's just what we wanted. We get the U.S. champ on a hot star. Already coming over from SmackDown from season 1 to the draft, and he's already paying dividends. He's our U.S. champ, and him and McIntyre have a pretty hot feud going into the PLE, so it's great to see. Undertaker cuts a good promo, gets us $14,000, but he does lose 4 pops, so it's not really good for the dead man. Ripley takes on Kaden Carter, and Ripley still picks up the win despite the run-in, and it does grow the rivalry to level 3, though. It is only a 2-star match, but we got another level 3 rivalry. Zoe Stark is now a heel. Charlotte Flair takes on Bianca Belair, and Charlotte Flair still wins despite the run-in, and it was only a 2-star match, and it also doesn't advance the rivalry, so we didn't accomplish that part. So not as good as the other run-in. An okay promo from Reigns, but it does advance the feud between him and The Undertaker to level 2. And then our main event crowned new Raw Tag Team Champions, Gunther and Strowman, who were a great tag team in Season 1, against another former Raw Tag Champs in Rated RKO. And we get the titles on Rated RKO, the first champs in this season as well, and a 3-star match. Good main event, gets it to a level run. So we had a good opener, a good main event, but isn't enough to beat SmackDown. They're going to start with a backstage brawl, Doudrop versus Queen Zelina, as this rivalry has really started for them in recent weeks. Doudrop gets the win, and it was a 3-star match, so we do beat them in the opening promo match. Bayley cuts a promo that gets her 1 popularity. Kaiser teams up with Balor to take on Big E and Montez Ford, a very interesting tag team on both ends of the spectrum, as Big E and Montez Ford are victorious. Only a 2.5-star match, but the rivalry grows to level 2, so they went from a 0 to 2. That's a big get for SmackDown. Becky Lynch calls out Bayley, so that's their SmackDown Women's Championship feud. Raquel Rodriguez takes on Io Sky, who is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. I forgot, actually, Becky Lynch actually lost that title. It was a 3-star match as their new champ is able to win. Shinsuke Nakamura had a self-promo, it was weak, so nothing happened there. And their main event, though, an Iron Man match for the Universal Championship, Ivar versus Noam Dar. And they have a new Universal Champion, the Scottish Supernova, in a 4.5-star classic. So they crown a new Universal Champion. As you can hear my dog, he's got the zoomies in the background. But overall, I thought we had a pretty good show. I thought we did pretty good against SmackDown. Hopefully the main event didn't hurt us too bad, excuse me. As we'll look at the damage, we gained a total of 31,000 fans this week and $98,000. While SmackDown, they gained 48,000. So wow, actually they killed us. 17,000 fans in favor of SmackDown. And I think that's going to put them in the lead. Yes, they officially have the lead in terms of fans. They're up by now about 26,000 fans going into the final PLE build. So it has not been a good opening stretch, but You know, it's really just for these PLEs. We kill it on the PLEs. Roman Reigns says, I haven't had any matches in a while. The fans are starting to forget about me. It's time you wake up and put me back where I belong. I want a match in the next show. Oh, yeah, sure, Roman. I want that to happen. I will definitely put you back in the spotlight. Don't want to make our WWE champion mad. Raw needs to put its best talent in the ring. I agree. I'm really psyched for this upcoming PLE. Can't wait to put on a great show for the crowd. I'm glad you are, Robert Roode, because you're going to have a good match. Commissioner Gold, rest your primary solos champions. That's not going to work because... actually, primary solos champion, so I don't know if that includes Roman Reigns because we promised him a match, but nonetheless, we have now fallen behind SmackDown. It's time to retake the lead, so let me go ahead and book the second show of this episode. Alright, so I've gone ahead and booked the second show of this episode, and I'm going with something a little bit different, something I haven't really done all too much in this series, as here's what it looks like. We're going to put very heavily influence on tag team matches. I want to see how it works. It kind of gets us some views that we can kind of loop together, so let's see how it goes. We're going to start off with a tag team match in the women's side. Rhea Ripley will team with Charlotte Flair to take on Roxanne Perez and Asuka. We'll have a charity promo from Katana Chance, try to get some fans back, so we'll have her try to get us that regard. Then we'll see another tag match. Strowman and Gunther will try to advance their feud as they take on Edge and Randy Orton in tag team action. And then Kaden Carter will also cut a charity promo, so we'll have Chance and Carter cut us charity promos to try to get us a little bit extra fans this week. Zoe Stark will take on Bianca Belair. I want to see how Stark does, so we'll put her against Belair. If they have good chemistry, we'll continue the feud. If not, we'll just leave it where it's at. Braun Breaker will cut an advertising promo, try to get him some more popularity, try to figure out what to do with him. And then our main event, champions versus challengers. Drew McIntyre will team up with The Undertaker to take on Robert Roode and Roman Reigns. So it's a pretty good show, I think. Tag team matches, we'll see how they do. So let's go ahead and get into it. This could be a big episode big show going into the final, or going into the Survivor Series, excuse me. Flair teams up with Ripley to take on Perez and Asuka, and we have Flair and Ripley pick up the victory in a 3-star match, so it doesn't advance any rivalries, but a decent start to the show. Katana Chance cuts a good charity promo, 4,500 fans, that's good for us. Gunther and Strowman will take on a Rated RKO rematch, but this time at non-title, and it allows the big men to pick up a victory, so they've now earned the right to challenge them again. Another 3-star match. It's a pretty steady show so far, and that's now a level 2 rivalry. Kaden Carter's one gets us 3,750 in terms of fans, not as good as Chance's, but another boost nonetheless. Zoe Stark and Bianca Belair, a big test for Stark here, as she does lose to Bianca Belair, and only a 2-star match, and it does get a rivalry started, so maybe that's something we throw on the Survivor Series card, but nothing, no guarantees. Breaker loses us 4 popularity, though. It does gain us $10,000, so it's not good for Braun. We're still trying to figure out what to do with him. And then the main event, Undertaker and Drew McIntyre team up to face Robert Roode and Roman Reigns, and it is the challengers who pick up the victory in what was only a 2.5-star match, and Robert Roode is actually hurt, so that is not good. Robert Roode, our United States champion, is going to be on the shelf and is going to miss Survivor Series. A terrible outcome there. Over to SmackDown, they have a SmackDown Women's Championship opener, Rodriguez and Io Sky, and Io is able to retain. It was a 3.5-star match. They have a better opener than we do. Nakamura calls out Montez Ford. It was a good, so that's a level 3, so this is kind of scary. Mustafa Ali takes on Veer Mahan. This is a new one for them. Ali gets the victory. I'm not expecting big things. Yeah, only a 2-star match, so we do better there. Big E's self-promo doesn't gain him anything. Cena takes on Ludwig Kaiser, another start to an interesting rivalry there. Cena is victorious, and only a 2-star match, so they had a better opener. We've done other spots better. 3 popularity gain for Becky Lynch. In the main event's another backstage brawl. They got to worry about some stamina here. As you can see, Doudrop's only on 32. As the winner of this one is indeed Doudrop. It was a 4-star match, and she also doesn't get hurt, so not sure how that didn't happen. Yeah, that she didn't get hurt, but the only injury we suffered was in our main event, and we got killed in that spot, so I think SmackDown might have did better than us this week. We did have a couple charity promos, so we gained 40,000 fans, which isn't terrible, and though for SmackDown, they gained 32,000. Okay, so we did beat SmackDown this week, so those charity promos did help us in that regard. And we also get another power card, and we have now about 30,000, I think, going behind SmackDown going into Survivor Series, which isn't terrible. But we did lose our United States champion, so that was kind of a big one. John the Fish Sherman, hey, my contract is up at the end of the week. Yeah, I'm not going to be renewing that. So, thanks for your work, John. I will not be removing your contract. That is easy, even for 5,000. Triple H, this match between Undertaker and McIntyre and Reigns and Roode had a high emotional intensity between the superstars, resulting in a 2-level rivalry boost. Well, that's good. That's a special feature of tag matches. They have the capacity to jump 2 levels in a singles match, even without special rules in play. It won't happen every time, but there's always a chance of it. So, well, that's good, but oh well. Hey, isn't it about time you put me in a PLE event? Yeah, we haven't had one, Roman. These things come and go. You never seem to use me. We haven't had one yet. How about we end the disrespect tonight and you give me a moment on the big stage? Yeah, that was the plan. Where's this even coming from? Bianca Belair, hey boss, I've been talking with Kaden a lot recently. She has this great idea that we should team up for a tag match. I think we'd actually make for an awesome tag. So Kaden Carter actually might team up with Bianca Belair. Sorry, Katana Chance, but you might get lost in the wind there. Sure, I'll give it to you though. So we'll make that team work. I'll see how they do. I can't do it this week, but Bianca Belair will indeed team with Kaden Carter. So that does it for the build to Survivor Series, our first PLE. We did take a little bit of a hit thanks to Robert Roode going down, so we'll have to see what we can do in that place. But I want to put on a good one. We always put on good PLEs. This is where we do our best business. So we'll see if we can continue that at Survivor Series. But thank you guys so much for watching this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyGM content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.